Sorry,
Right.
back to
No, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Because if you want to do a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan, you can do that. And if you want to, copy and paste the formulas and extend it out longer, you can do that. But yeah, 7 years is what we thought coming out of the gate. Fourth note, user inputs are green shaded cells. So all of the other values are calculated, and we tried to stick with very straightforward formulas so that the build out, we're not using any like nested loops and crazy functions and functions inside functions. We're trying to be as straightforward as possible so that it's easy to understand and you can take it and add the complexity or remove the complexity that works best for your business plan. The only other color coding in the model is that fill value flows are shaded in blue up there, and then the fiat value flows, so by default in US dollars, are in purple. So there's some exchange rates that you can change around with. So all the green stuff are things that you need to build out, and then the rest is calculated. The flow is that the logic generally flows downward in the rows with this bottom-up set of calculations, starting with how much storage power you want to input for your system growth over time. And so that's this line item here. We'll dig into this in a minute, but you say, hey, I want to have this many PIBs of raw byte storage, and then all of the other things, follow on from that. How much collateral will you need? How much equipment will you need? How much rent are you going to pay for that equipment? How much electricity will you use for that equipment? So all those things kind of build out as you go forward. There are 4 main modules or tabs in this spreadsheet. And so just zooming out from the high level view, the model tab is kind of where all the action is. And so you can see, again, we've got these 7 years of quarters, all these columns built out. And then from top to bottom, that logical flow, like I said, has the build up till you get down at the bottom. And there's kind of this cash flow summary and reconciliation. So into that, we're kind of calling out to a separate module or tab for service revenues. So these are all the things for charging for storage or the things that were talked about early on the call. Are you doing business development as a service? Are you doing download egress CDN stuff as a service? So those revenues will come in. They're kind of abstracted away on this tab, and they will come in as a line item here to go into your business model. Similarly, the costs are abstracted away, so you can get the detail that you need for your costs. And there's a section for capital costs or equipment costs, and a separate section for operating costs, those ongoing operating costs. Finally, what you don't have in a typical Web2 data storage data center business case is these interactions with the Filecoin network. So there's a fill detail tab where the network rates for your block reward subsidies, your collateral pledge amounts, and then the exchange rate for fill to USD are porting in and used on the model tab. So those assumptions you can, we have an API script in the Google spreadsheet that will call out and populate the current values for those things. And then you can add and adjust scenarios, change the growth rates, condition those to what you want for the scenario that you're using, and then import those costs and details.